Hey friends, it's Ashley and today I am back with a new layout for Hip Kit Club. I am using the March 2019 kits and I'm also using our April mood board for inspiration. And I took inspiration from the bottom center photo and also from the stripes. You can see a little sneak here of what I'm going to be working on and then the finished layout at the end. So I'm also using one of our March cut files. This is a pretty floral cut file designed by Kim Watson. So I cut two of those, and in different sizes I enlarged one a little bit. And I am taking inspiration from the mood board because I really liked the way that those flowers were aligned on the left side of that little image. So that's what I'm going to do with these, and I'm not backing these because I have a gorgeous pattern paper. This is the Heidi Swapp Color Fresh collection. So I'm just going to actually adhere these right to the background. And I'm also going to do some hand stitching. So this may look a little tedious, but I am going to completely cover the actual flowers with the liquid adhesive in my fine liner bottle because I want those to really stick to the background paper. I'm going to use my paper piercer to punch the holes, and so I want to make sure that this glue is very dry before I do that. So I go ahead and get this on here, adhere it to my paper, and then I let that dry off camera to make sure that when I poke my holes it will stay secure on the background. So you can see here I have my little paper piercer and embroidery floss. I'm going to go ahead and trim off these excess pieces first. And I saved that little cluster there because I do want to use that and add it to the layout later on. So I'm going to get my paper piercer, and I'm only doing the flowers. I'm not doing the leaves. And I'm actually going to kind of coordinate the embroidery floss with the colors on this pretty paper. So at the top, I'm going to start with that deepest color pink. I have a kind of mid-tone pink. Off camera where you can't see, I have a very light pink, and then I have kind of a peachy pink color that I will use at the bottom. So I'm just going to do a little bit of this here for you so you can see the process getting started. And this was a little bit longer than I thought it would be. It did take a while just because the needle does not like going through those two layers. But once it's finished, I really love the way it looks. So it was definitely worth it. Just adding that little bit of stitching to the flowers. And I always like hand stitching anyway. It's just fun for me, and I like the texture that it adds to my layouts. So you can see I have all of that finished and how pretty that looks, and you'll be able to see it a little better in the close-ups. Now I'm going to add my photo, and this little bud right here kind of overlapped, and I did not want that. So I had this same sheet of paper that I had used before on another layout. So I just traced that one, and I'm going to back it so it covers up that part of the photo there at the bottom. And if you're worried about mixed media and you want a layout that has a mixed media look, then this paper is for you because it is, like I said, gorgeous. I love it. I love that it already has that mixed media look. I didn't have to do anything to it to make it look like this, and I really love that because it doesn't make the paper bend or crinkle, and it looks really pretty. So here's that other little piece that I cut off when I was doing the excess off of the edges, and I'm going to add that there at the bottom just to kind of bring that out a little bit. And now I'm going to get started with my embellishments. This is a little pack of bows from Simple Stories, and they're actually paper clip. I did not want to use the paper clip since I put my photo flat on the page, so I just removed that and kind of glued that little area back together. And I'm going to place it at the top of my photo. And the colors, even though those are two different things, one's from Simple Stories, one is from Heidi Swapp, they coordinate really well together. The bow picks up all of those colors from the pattern paper, and I really like that. There are also a lot of exclusives in the March kit that are really fun. This is a sticker sheet, and there's a whole pack of exclusive ephemera pieces. So I'm going to be using several of those on the layout. And then this is the little thicker embellishment sheet from Crate Paper. This goes along with the Maggie Holmes, I think it's called Sunny and Bright collection. I've just like totally lost what the name of it is. Sunny Days. I think it's Sunny Days. Yeah. So I'm going to use some of the sentiments from this. And like I've said before, those do not stick very well. So I am going to go back and add my liquid adhesive to these. And this is creating my title. So my title is going to be Live, Laugh, Love. And if you're wondering where the love is going to come from, it is going to come from the other alpha set that is in the March kit. So I wanted to, instead of using the little dot that came in the package with the Live, Laugh, Love, I wanted to use one of the hearts. These are exclusives also. So I just put a little piece of dimensional foam behind that to pop it up so it would fit there. And then these are the stickers that I'm going to use to complete the title. These are also from the Heidi Swapp Color Fresh, I can't say that, Color Fresh collection. My mouth goes too fast, I guess, for my words. So I'm going to use these to do the word love. And I just kind of get them in place and decide I don't like them there. So I am going to shift them over a little bit. And you can see that I don't really ever use anything like a ruler or anything like that to line up my letters. I just kind of like freehand it, just do whatever. If they turn out straight, I'm really excited. If they're a little crooked, then I just pretend that they were supposed to look like that. So these actually looked pretty straight. So I usually try to get one in place and then just kind of go from there. So that worked out the way that I wanted it to, and I like the way that that looks coming down the page. So I'm going to go through the embellishments and see what else I want to add. I'm going to grab out these ephemera pieces and just see which ones of these that I want to use. And I wanted to keep this layout kind of, I guess you would say, fairly simple for me because I really liked the look of the stitching and the cut file down that left hand side. So I definitely didn't want to cover any of that up. That's why I kind of have all of my embellishing and photo a little bit to the right of that because I didn't want to cover any of that stitching. So I'm going to add some more of these little thickers, the XOXO, and these definitely have to be put down with some of the liquid adhesive. So I'm just going to add those down at the bottom. I wanted like another cluster at the bottom of the layout just to kind of bring your eye down. So that's why I went ahead and added those right there. And I did add them over those other little blooms, but I ended up liking the way that it looked, just having those kind of layered behind it. And I want to put a sticker also in that little cluster. And you can tell those stickers are very sticky because it did not want to come off of my fingers, but I finally got it off of there. And since I wanted to overlap it a little bit on the XOXO, I just added some foam under that to be able to get it to pop up over those letters. So I go back and forth for a while trying to decide what I want to add here and there, and I get a couple of these little flowers. They match the color in the pattern paper really well, and I wanted to pop that one up there at the top, so I just add a little bit of that dimensional foam behind it, and also added the one there beside love. And I didn't want any foam on that one, so I just put it flat. And I'm going to use my date stamp, and I always like to tuck my date in somewhere, so I just did it right there in between the words and the title. And I'm looking to see if there are any other phrases I want to add, checking out what else I have that I want to put on there. And I wanted to put a little heart at the top to bring in some of that yellow color, so I grabbed one of the ones from the Sunny Days thicker pack, and that brings out that yellow that's in the paper. And then I really have been wanting to use the Marvelous sticker, so that worked perfectly right there at the bottom of my photo. So I went ahead and placed that there. And even though this already has a mixed media look, I wanted to add a few splatters. I debated if I wanted to use black or if I wanted to use white. I decided to go with white. This is just some that I have in my stash from Alta New. And so I just kind of sprinkle that around the layout just to add a little bit more kind of artsy look to the page. And I liked the way that that turned out. And since I also liked the stripes in the mood board, this paper is also Color Fresh from Heidi Swapp, and it coordinates perfectly with this pattern paper. I liked the contrast of the black and white stripes, but it also has that color part at the bottom, which picks up all of those colors in my background paper. So I am just going to cut a strip here from this paper to add over on that right hand side. And I just like that it adds a little bit more graphic look over to the side. And I don't really usually do kind of like shabby chic anymore on my layouts, but I decided that this needed to be torn. So I do go ahead and tear down that edge. I didn't want it to be a straight edge on that piece. So I tear it all the way down. And when I adhere it, I'm going to kind of just bend those edges up a little bit and make it kind of messy. And off camera, I do add some machine stitching down that border strip. You'll see it in the finished layout at the end of the video. It's always hard for me to switch my camera to actually show you the sewing, so it's easier for me to do it off camera, but you'll see that in the video or in the photo at the end and the close-up. So that finishes up my layout. I will leave links for you to the March kit so you can check those out and to the cut files that I used. I hope you enjoyed watching today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.